course, bad luck is different things to different people. To singer Michael Jackson, bad luck would be waking up with a man's voice. To actor Charlie Bronson, bad luck would be waking up good looking. But to a man in Gastonia, North Carolina, it seems bad luck is just waking up. Not long ago, 72-year-old Roy Reep retired from the Gastonia Fire Department. For his years of faithful service, they gave him a plaque and a custom golf hat. On his modest pension, Roy retired to a quiet trailer park called Beverly Hills. For company, Roy has a brown dog and a black dog that he calls Brown Dog and Black Dog. Brown Dog and Black Dog are so gentle they didn't bother with the last burglar who dropped by. Every morning, Roy starts his day by going to his mailbox and picking up his newspaper, and usually stops by and picks up a part of his car. Around this part of North Carolina, Roy is known as Rugged Roy, and Rugged Roy says he could compare his car to his life, which started falling apart when he was 3 years old.
My grandfather had been a detective, and he had those .38 pistol lying in the drawer. My brother, who was going on 6, he got a hold of it, and he pointed it towards my face and pulled the trigger. It burnt my eyes shut and my mouth shut. It knocked out about half my jawbone, and it had gone up to the roof of my mouth, and they didn't know where it had gone to. So I got along pretty good, and when I was about 10 years old, I was lying behind the stove one night, and my father came in swinging his axe, and he split the top of my head open. Do you want to feel the top of my head where my scar is?
No, that's okay.
Things went along pretty good until I was about 13 years old. This teacher, she kept me in the cloakroom about 2/3 of the time because I'd use 3 or 4 handkerchiefs a day. They x-rayed my face, and they found a baby tooth growing in one nostril, and they found a dead one in the other nostril. Things went along pretty good until we got to Lexington and had a wreck. Dr. Roberts and Dr. Charlie Glenn informed me that I had a compound fracture of the pelvis bone, my hip bone's broken, my kidneys punctured, my bladder bursted. I lost my car and everything, I was in debt. I came home one morning, and my plate fell down in my mouth, and I went to Dr. Borshak. I said, Doctor, I said, every time I drink something, I said, it squirts out my nose.
Roy's had almost as many different doctors as he's had problems, and in some cases, he says, the doctor was the problem.
I started having trouble with my eyes. And anyway, I went to Dr. Eves, and he performed surgery on one eye, so I've been blind in that eye ever since.
Have you ever had any luck with women?
That was later. I'm coming to that in a few minutes.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, this doctor uptown, he fluoroscoped my throat, and he found this bullet in my throat, and it's still in there. But he said, and Dr. Clinton said it was as flat as a dime in my throat between that main bone and my neck and an artery.
Roy also had a second bullet in his body, which was put there by his second wife.
She was a wonderful worker, but she just, well, she felt like that she couldn't leave drink alone. She let these 2 men persuade her one night to come in on me before I went to work, and shot me through the chest and through the arm.
Why?
One man told her, said, you go ahead and shoot him and we'll live in this house. And years later, I felt something in my chest. And I went to Dr. Tyner, and he froze that thing and took his scalpel and slit it and cut it open. And there was that little copper bullet, and he took it out. They sent my wife to prison. And when she came back, why, I took her back, but she died.
Have you ever had any good luck?
We lived down on the railroad track, and I was going up the railroad track one day, and I looked down, and there was a $10 bill lying in this ditch. And I reached down to pick it up, and the center tore out of it.
Do you own a black cat?
I had 2 great big beautiful black cats, and they got gone. I don't even know what happened to them.
Even though his black cats ran off, Roy's luck got worse.
My feet, they started breaking out, and I went to this doctor, and he said that I had dermatitis in my legs.
Word of how Rugged Roy was surviving all his hard luck eventually reached the editors of the Guinness Book of Records, who were interested in including him in an upcoming edition as one of the world's unluckiest humans. The letter, dated over 3 years ago, said they would contact him.
But they never have.
Roy has accepted his fate philosophically. Only once did he ever express anger at God or his fellow man for his lot in life, and that's when he once worked for a bakery.
We were working on the table one morning, making cinnamon buns. And this boss man, he kept having this boy to pick at me. And I walked up to the wall, and I struck that wall as hard as I could.
When was the last time you had a serious relationship with a woman?
Well, actually, last week. But let's put it like this. If I do something for somebody, and she wants to do something for me, I feel like turnabout is fair play.
What did she do for you?
She went to bed with me.
Wow.
When she needs money and cigarettes and things like that, well, I take them to her.
How old was the woman last week?
28 years old.
This week, maybe Roy's luck was changing, because while he was telling us about his girlfriend, the phone rang. She was calling to say it was time for more turnabout as fair play. As far as Roy was concerned, the interview was over. Roy busied himself straightening up the kitchen, the front room, and himself. After about 45 minutes, though, the phone rang again. His girlfriend had called to cancel their date because her other boyfriend had come home.
Actually, she's living with another guy now, see.
Once again, it was only Lady Luck who had given it to Roy, so as usual, Roy contented himself to stay home and watch the news. Since his life is such a catalog of disasters, it makes him feel better to know others didn't have such a good day either.
This just in, South Carolina authorities say the former mayor of Pageland, South Carolina, was shot to death. A 16-year-old Hawthorne Junior High School student is being held under $50,000 bond on rape charges. 18 bags of cocaine were seized and 2 people were arrested in a raid on a Statesville house last night. An elderly Stanley County woman died in a house fire early this morning.
The only luck I've ever had was the fact my mother said before she died, she said, "You're just too good for your own good."